I think this was made for me.
A packaging miracle. Today's video is sponsored by Raycon. What's up, everybody? Today on Cars and Cameras, our 4-speed generator-powered mini bike is getting some boost. That's right, we're adding some positive manifold pressure to our $25 twin-cylinder military generator engine that we hooked a 1950s BSA gearbox up to.
It turned out pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And we can do a little bit of some changes to clean things up. It's going to turn out awesome.
Yeah, this thing is good. It's about to be great with a little bit of boost. So we're gonna tuck our turbo underneath the seat. We have it clocked how we like it. So I need to trim this exhaust, I don't know, somewhere right about here. I love this exhaust the way it is, but I'm thinking this is gonna make it even cooler. So I'm gonna trim it there, 2 into 1, under the seat, and then 1 back into the 2 for the charge pipe.
Kind of hurts a little bit, buddy.
It does. Is that better?
What?
That's pretty cool. That's better, right?
Nah. I really like the shotgun exhaust, man. It just looks so good.
Shotgunned it.
But you know what? That turbo fills in that empty space we got.
Yeah.
So
Shotgun hairdryer now.
there we go.
So we have the turbo mounted about where we want it, and I went ahead and welded around separately and removed so I could weld all the way around, because once I weld these two together, getting inside here is going to be extremely difficult. So I'm going to tack these, take the whole assembly off where I can get in there with my gun, and weld it all the way up, and then we're going to work on getting to the turbo. Now let's see if I can even get this thing off. Oh yeah, this is going to be a sweet little unit when it's done. Dude, that is obnoxious.
Nah, man. I'm listening to the sound of love.
What about a screechy hole saw is the sound of love?
Screechy hole saw, I'm listening to Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith on my Raycon Everyday earbuds, and they're sponsoring today's video. These things come with active noise cancellation, and I can barely hear this hole saw.
Yeah, man, it's crazy how well the cancellation works at such an affordable price.
I highly recommend the Raycon Everyday earbuds in a shop or garage environment.
They're weatherproof and sweat resistant. They have a long 32-hour battery life to almost get you through the work week, and they have multi-point connectivity for seamless use between devices.
Once they're in, they're truly hands-free with highly reliable connectivity that matches any workflow in most conditions.
Yeah, I've never had to deal with random disconnections or interference, whether I'm listening to Charlie Daniels Band or talking hands-free on the phone or editing a video at the computer.
When you're done working, you know your Raycons will stay safe in their protective case cover that's wireless charging compatible.
My color, concrete, goes with everything, but I'd recommend yellow sunset if you're someone who always loses stuff. You couldn't miss this bright color if you tried.
The Raycon Everyday earbuds are unbelievably reliable and durable at a price tag you can't beat.
So go to buyraycon.com/cars to get up to 20% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website, including 20% off all headphones too, when you go to buyraycon.com/cars. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the build. So the hot side of the turbo is done. I installed the turbo. It looks nice and straight. Looks good. The intake, the charge pipe, is going to be much more challenging. This intake port, piece of cake, right up here into the outlet of the turbo. But that intake port is going to be a real pain. So what I'm thinking here is a 2-piece intake manifold. We have this other flange here. I'm going to weld this tube to. that I'm gonna have some pressure rated rubber hose on, and we can clamp it on either side, and that's how we can get our intake in and out, because it is tight in between those push rod tubes. And the one major thing I've learned from welding all this stainless steel on that exhaust and now this exhaust system is that your fit up is most important. The better you get your fit up, the better the welds are going to turn out. So let's hammer down and get this intake figured out. We got our little exhaust extension here, so we have more room for our charge pipe. Oh.
It'll be fine.
Cover. So that's going to make all kinds of room for our new charge pipe.
Very nice.
So we scooted our turbo back about 3 inches to make room for our charge pipe. Now, we're having adjustable length intake runners, so we have horsepower and torque out of this application.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a gasket for our homemade intake, and I'm gonna show y'all how to do that. We got in the mail this United States Postal Service flat rate envelope. This is gonna be perfect for a gasket. It's got a nice semi-thick cardboard-like
but it's not corrugated.
It's not corrugated. Do not use a corrugated cardboard for making gaskets. And it's really, really simple, guys. You find a spot to put it. You get a little ball peen hammer here and you hold it in place and you just give her a tap. And what happens when you tap it, it literally cuts the paper. The super simplest way to cut a gasket. Now I did not get it to the end here because we do have a slot here, so I'm gonna just kind of rip this and I'm gonna place it back, and this is where the ball peen comes in handy. See a little, nice little round piece of the hammer there. You just go on the inside. There's that. Don't leave this in there, that'll be a bad day. And for the holes, what I like to do is I'll grab a bolt out of the bolt pin. Now I like grabbing a bolt just a little bit bigger than the hole. Find where it's at. You place it and you give it a little tappity tap. And there we go, guys. Easy way to make a gasket. No need to call up the parts store and tell them, yeah, I got a 2025 Go Power Sports Rascal bike with a 1986 military 2-cylinder engine with a 1950 BSA transmission. You will blow their minds because they can't handle putting wiper blades on a Rascal bike because they don't know what kind you got. Anyhow, whatever. Hey, you got it, bud.
Yeah, it's a tight fit.
Nice job.
I think you're right. These pipes aren't going anywhere.
No, they aren't.
I'm struggling to get the gasket in there. How we looking, bud?
Oh man, that looks very professional.
You know, it turned out better than I thought. I wanted the all metal look, but you know, the 2 hoses is not bad.
No, that's not too bad.
So we're probably gonna plug that for now. We might go with a boost gauge later. I'm gonna work on carburetor and exhaust, and the turbo's gonna be done.
Awesome. I'm gonna work on tri-stand and maybe oil pump, since the turbo has to be.
It does need oil.
Yeah, gotta have oil pressure.
What do you think about that carb placement?
It'll work. It'll work.
There's just no room on this whole engine,
no,
so
everything's like clogged up.
it's going out the back.
I am doing the best thing I know, and that's rigging. Turbos need oil, right?
Yep.
They need oil pressure, usually. Well, this engine does not have an oil pump. But I tell you what it does have. It has a fuel pump that we're not using. So I am coming up with this system right here. We're using the old fuel pump and the fuel filter or water separator.
Looks like you have a cold and you need to take a little Benadryl or something there.
Yeah. So I am rigging up this to lubricate the turbo. It is not pumping, sir. Maybe it needs to be primed. I really like what you did with the exhaust, dude. It looks
It's simple,
good.
but it's gonna get the job done. All right, fuel line's on. Exhaust is on. We're pretty much ready to go. We gotta put the spring on the tri-stand, and we have a registered nurse here, just in case the first drive goes poorly.
Nice. Did we explain the oiling system on this thing?
I'm not sure we did. Let's do that real quick.
Yeah.
So the engine has a fuel pump installed right here. It's driven off of some kind of...
Probably camshaft or something.
Yeah. We put ATF in there, and that's what's going to pump...
Circulate.
Exactly. Pump oil to cool our turbocharger, because this thing doesn't have a charging system. We'd have to put a battery on it with an electric oil pump. It would be a pain. So we're gonna give this a shot.
So you got the little lever there.
Yep.
And you can pump the pump manually.
Oh yeah, you can see the bubbles moving.
Yeah, yeah. So it's already putting oil through the turbo, and it's gonna push it through the line, through the drain. Yeah, this thing's gonna be oiling just fine.
Sweet. Well, let's fire it up and see how it does with the new boost.
Sounds good.
This view, you got like the hot side of the turbo, you got like the exhaust, our intake, and the engine. It's got like a steampunk vibe. It's very cool.
It's a really cool looking bike.
I mean, I'd say it rides more like a motorcycle than a mini bike.
Yeah.
It's so heavy.
Oh, we got to get the tri-stand hooked up.
Yep.
With the spring, do that.
Fire it up.
And try to fire it up. It sounds great. Got a little bit of a leak on the oiling system.
That'll be all right.
It needs a new gasket.
It's old. If it leaks, that means it has oil in it.
I like it. I think I was made for this. Or I think this was made for me.
I think it was too. I mean, I know our hot air injection back there is kind of, I don't know, a little weirder than normal, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. And Quinn said, it's dripping blood. It's a vampire bike. Look at that thing.
Yeah, the seal where the glass bowl goes, the seal's cork, and when they're old and you disturb them, you never get them in the same place.
Yep.
So we're just gonna have to find a nice gasket to replace it with. All right, keeping the rubber side down.
It's a little dangerous.
Thing is pretty good. this thing.
Good.
It sounds great. Throttle response is good.
Let's find some non-ice. I don't want you to get hurt.
All right. Oh no!
What?
I didn't get it. It responds pretty good, dude.
You think it feels any faster?
I don't. At the low speeds, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think I need to take it for more of a straight stretch.
Do you want to try? Everything is ice.
I'll go down the road and just kind of feel it, and then I'll coming back. I'll see what it does.
Sounds good.
Careful. All right. Speed. I think it likes the turbo. I think it is faster. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, stop. Scary. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
It's definitely moving out better. I want to ride it.
Okay. Transmission fluid is changing colors.
Is it really? So cool.
That is such a cool bike.
It is so responsive.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not bad.
Here we go. Oh, I love this thing. It is so cool. Man, a little sketched out by the ice and snow, especially on a heavy bike. Yeah, if you ask me, this thing is way faster. Man, it was so sluggish before. Now it'll actually move. Man, it is banging gears on a mini bike. It's so awesome.
Hopefully he's careful, because right about now he's running in some really nasty stuff.
Ah! Oh!
I think he might have laid it down.
That's the most embarrassing crash I've ever had.
You okay, John?
Woo! Danger. Ugh. Danger, danger. I'm okay, I'm okay. Yeah, wow, it has mid-range torque now. It never had mid-range torque. have had an accident.
I kind of thought you did. Is everything okay? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good. It's just like a total sheet of ice. So I went over it at 3 miles an hour and it still just slid out.
Oh, so a slow accident.
Very slow.
Okay, what do you think?
Man, I don't know, like, it feels a lot faster to me. Like, it never really had any mid-range or power anywhere, but like, there's a good shove in the mid-range now.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can be going mid-RPM and gag it, and it's like, it comes on pretty strong for a 3 horsepower engine. Well, that was a successful first test drive with the turbocharger. But we're not done yet. We have a few finishing touches to add to this bike to really just set it over the top. First thing being an oil cooler for more capacity and better way to cool our oil, transmission fluid, for our turbocharger. We're also redoing the shifter. It was ugly. We're gonna show you how it works. We like this new one a lot better. We're gonna modify the triple tree. And finally, we have some new front shocks that have a Boss for front brakes, so we can have front brakes on this thing too. So let's get to work. So we're gonna be replacing these Megamoto 8105 front forks with the Go Power Sports heavy duty front fork kit here for the Megamoto 8105 size. So the big thing we're looking for is this. So that is a Boss built into the fork, so we can bolt a brake caliper right on it and we can have front forks. Hopefully the damping is a little tighter in these too, so we don't hit our neck tube bolt on our fender. Tight packaging. Always good to keep track of any spacers or bushings you have in between your wheel and your axle. Here's the old one. Here's the heavy duty. I didn't know there was this much difference between the stock 8105 and the heavy duties, but darn, look at that. The heavy duty is like 2-3 inches longer, and the standard one, you can plunge very easily. In the heavy duty, it is certainly stiffer. Oh yeah. So, let's get these reinstalled, and we shouldn't have an issue with our ruining our fender anymore. It's a good tight fit. Probably put them right about here because we want to keep our same ride height. So we have the fender bolted on before the wheel. That's a lot easier than doing it with the wheel on. And now we can work on adapting our front brakes. So Go Power Sports sells a kit that you can adapt to your Rascal like we have here, your Megamoto 8105, or a lot of other mini bikes that never came with front suspension, so you can hook them up with front suspension and brakes like we're doing today. So I'm gonna link these down in the video description for you to check out. This 10-inch machined aluminum wheel comes with this spacer, brake disc, and all the necessary hardware to get it to work. We can slide our wheel in. Now we have to get the other spacer in. There we go. And you always want gentle taps when you're putting in an axle bolt, because you could be caught up on something and cause a big problem for yourself if you hurt the threads in there or hurt your bushing in there. Torque to spec. Now we can run our master cylinder brake handle. So we'll probably need to move our throttle cable up there, put it right there, and boom, front brake is done. Looks good. So Rebecca, the nice lady who won our Trailmaster race bike, she sent us a little present in return. Some fudge. So, wow, all this looks good, man. Oh, peanut butter. Maple bourbon pecan is mine. Shout out to Rebecca. There go our diet goals for the year, but totally worth it.
So we got this shortened up. You know, put the feet back on and get it installed. Over. Got the tri-stand installed back, staying up quite nicely. Now we're going to move on to tacking up and installing this for the turbo's oil system. Now we picked this spot so that it has maximum airflow, and get this put in and route the tube.
So our Amazon oil cooler is really not doing hot. We've had this fitting strip out, we had another bolt strip out, so we're having to retap it and try to put NPT in there. It's a bit of a train wreck, but you know what? We're having a good old time.
Doesn't even feel like metal.
Yeah, it's like the cheapest. It's like plastic metal. It's somewhere in between. So it may be January, but we are getting started on getting ready for racing season. This is a 285cc Tillotson methanol burning engine. Very powerful engine on a Rascal GT. We're getting this thing ready for the Go Power Sports 660 8th mile drag race coming up in April. Last time we were at the track, this engine slipped the flywheel timing key, which is very important because that's when basically the coil tells the spark plug to shoot sparks. So if your ignition timing is wrong, your engine's not going to run, or it's going to run poorly and even blow itself up. So we're going to have to take that off. I think you're going to need a bigger breaker bar, but give it a shot, buddy.
Yeah.
Bigger. We built a crankshaft holder out of an old 30 series primary. Super helpful for when you need to pull a flywheel off. There you go. So we're looking for a broken key in there. So it's nearly impossible to see, but there is a key in there, and this one is intact. So last time we had it at the track, it slipped, but Ike was able to fix it there, and it was good to go.
So we're gonna test it and see what happens.
Yep, we're gonna throw it back together, send it home with Zach, and you'll see it at another test day here in the spring. This is what a clutch looks like after you take it to the Bonneville Salt Flats. This was brand new on this bike. I don't even think we ran this at Bonneville. I think just the air out there is what hit it.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna get you a rebuild kit for that thing too.
That'd probably be smart. All right, so Zach got these tubes lined up for me, keeping them away from the exhaust. Now all we need to do is get this thing put in.
Managed to patch it up just enough to use it. So here's how the system with the cooler is plumbed. We have our drain from the turbo going back into the pump, which pumps up and over to the front to the cooler, where it should pump to the other side of the cooler, come down to this reservoir over here. And then from this reservoir here, it snakes around to the top of the turbo and then drains back down and it starts over. Now, does this little pump have the guts to pump transmission fluid through our new cooler? We don't know. We're gonna find out. So the oil cooler is all installed, and this is just quite the contraption. It's a packaging miracle between the turbo, all the piping related to that, our oil cooler, oil lines, our divorced BSA 4-speed transmission. Definitely my favorite mini bike we've ever built.
It's so full.
It is full. You can't fit much else in there. It's a good thing we didn't do twin turbos. This is a 3D Motorsports manual clutch, and it's perfect for this application, being that we have the divorced transmission. We had no other option. We're gonna stick with our juggernauts and our clutches for like Bonneville and the drag racing stuff, but this has been a very cool experiment using this clutch for the first time. Last up, we have a new shifter.
Old one was good, but just a little ugly. So we got the new one here. It even has the fold in just in case it gets laid down. It's not gonna break off.
Or hurt you.
Or hurt you. So we're gonna get this tacked up, welded on, drill a new hole, and install it.
Everything is hooked back up with our shift linkage, and we thought we'd take a minute to show you how it works. So we have a jack shaft running across to the gearbox, so when you shift from neutral down into first, there it goes. It moves this linkage on the gearbox. So I'll go up to second, neutral, come on. You know these old British things. Come on. Really? There's second. Anyway, it works just fine in practice. Let's get this thing down and test it. Let's test out this new tri-stand too. All right. Hey, dude, that is perfect. That looks fantastic. It's still in gear. Yeah, this is, I know I keep saying it, the best mini bike we've ever built. So much going on, and can't wait to take it for a hot lap tomorrow. So it's not any drier out there on the track today, but it is much colder. So maybe the track is frozen. And well, this thing, it handles so well, just like a motorcycle. We're gonna take it out and see if we can get a top speed run on this thing with the turbo. I am just thrilled with how this thing has turned out. It sounds great, it looks great, and I'm so glad you guys have enjoyed watching this series. Be sure to leave a thumbs up if you're enjoying these builds, and let us know down in the comments, what should we do next with these military engines? You all suited up and ready to go? All right. Third kick, baby. It's like it's first kick every time. I know.
I think we got the gearing absolutely perfect. The front brake is amazing. And the front end is a lot stiffer now than what it was. Let's check this track. I don't know about this. Oh, no. That is slick right there. I just slid a little bit. So yeah, no hot lap. But it drives so much better with this front end. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that was almost dumped it. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is gross.
Turbo's really acting like a muffler.
Dude, I almost dumped it twice, driving easy.
All right, well maybe we just take it for a top speed test.
Drives nice and smooth. Top speed.
Look at him go. Man, it is so awesome to see that thing drive down the road. But I'm not sure it can really keep up with traffic. I would love to get some plates on this thing and road trip it, just like some of you guys are saying in the comments.
Well, I think this is an amazing machine. No more leaks from the from our oiling system for the turbo.
Can't believe it, this thing marks its spot everywhere it goes.
Yeah, well, the Jack sent us those gaskets we needed.
Yep.
Thank you, Jack. And I feel like I could have gotten more speed out of it.
Okay, do you think the turbo helped?
Absolutely. We got 45.4 miles per hour out of it.
It can do the speed limit.
But I felt like there was some more in it. So maybe a little tuning. Maybe we need to fatten up the carburetor or something for the turbo. But it felt better. It's sweet. I love it.
Over the last month, we've built this Rascal mini bike using this $25 generator engine, custom built a turbo kit for it. And this has been my favorite mini bike build we've ever done. And 45 miles an hour is respectable. So I hope you all have enjoyed this series. what else do you want to see with this bike? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
It's a really sweet bike. I like it.
If this is 3 horsepower, then
No, it's way more than 3 horsepower.
For sure. Yeah, it's the way it's geared. It's probably 7 to 10
What?
horsepower. It's heavy.
I agree with you.
Long-legged, 7 to 10.
7 to 10 horsepower sounds about right.
Yeah, I love this thing, man. We're gonna have to give it another go when it dries up.